Have you ever noticed how easy it is to say, I want to be seen, but then do everything in your power to stay hidden? You make the post, you write the caption, you say the words, you hit publish and share it. But deep down, something still feels hidden. Like there's this version of you that never fully walks into the room. It just peeks around the corner, hoping someone will catch a glimpse and like what they get to see. Deep down, it still feels like the realest parts of you are tucked behind a curtain. Like there's this version of you waiting off stage, watching the performance and thinking, I hope they like this one. I hope this one's safe. Yeah, I get it. Welcome to the Wolverine Lifestyle Podcast, where personal growth meets deep thought and introspection. I am your host, Dylan Andres, and in this episode, we are exploring my personal journey through the journal prompt, Exploring Authenticity. What does living authentically mean to you, and how are you honoring your true self? This is one of those questions that sounds simple to answer until you actually try to sit down and answer it. And today, I want to unpack what it's meant for me and what it might mean for you, especially if you've ever felt like being yourself comes with a perceived risk. Let's rewind a few years. Back then, I thought authenticity meant just being honest, speaking your truth, posting raw, unfiltered version of you and your story. But here's what I learned the hard way. Authenticity isn't just about being honest. It's about being seen. And that's a whole different beast. Because being honest still lets you hide. You can share a story and keep it emotionally safe. You can say the truth, but say it with a careful, curated tone or timing or tactic. You can still wear a mask. But being seen means dropping the performance. It means risking rejection. It means allowing people to witness the unpolished version of you without a guarantee that they're going to applaud. That's where it got real for me, because even though I've been a coach, a speaker, someone who guides others through their transformations, I realized that there was parts of me I was still performing a version of myself. Parts of me I thought would be easier to accept, but I guess still weren't. This fear of being seen, I never wanted to admit that I had it. I mean, if you really think about it, how wild is that? I run a business that literally depends on me being visible, being online, being out there, being in front of people, being seen through and through. And yet, I notice patterns, subtle ones. I'll hold back from posting something raw because I worried about how it would land. I'd re-record a story 7 times because I didn't like how exposed it felt. I'd overthink decisions in my business to make sure I wasn't showing up too much. Underneath all of it, there's this whisper. What happens if they see the real me and they walk away? Because that has happened, both online and in real life. And maybe you felt that too, that subconscious push to edit who you are. Psychologists call this the self-concept maintenance. It's a mental strategy we use to preserve our identity, even if our identity no longer serves us. This is what our ego tries to do, by the way. If our nervous system has learned that being fully seen equals rejection or shame or punishment, then of course authenticity feels dangerous. Imagine this. You're standing behind a curtain of a theater. You've rehearsed your lines. You've polished the persona, You know exactly how to play the part. But tonight in particular, something feels different. Because tonight, the role you're supposed to perform isn't a character. It's you. And suddenly, that spotlight feels more like an interrogation light. Because when it's just you up there, no script, no costume, no character to hide behind, it's not just about being seen. It's about being known. And that's terrifying. But here's the thing. The people in the audience, they didn't come to watch a performance. They came to witness something real. And the moment you step into the light as your full, unfiltered self, mask off, nerves and all, that's when the real connection happens. Not because you were perfect, because you were present. And discomfort in that moment, it's not danger. It's just the cost of no longer pretending. So how am I honoring my true self now? I've learned that authenticity isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily choice. Every morning, I try to make a handful of micro decisions that align me with my real self. Not the version of me that's optimized for approval or productivity or performance. The me. Like giving myself permission to play, even when my mind tells me that I should be working. Or letting myself indulge in something joyful without earning it first. Or hitting record on my phone before I feel ready to capture the introspective thought. And when the resistance comes up, and it always does, I don't push it away. I soothe it and move through it. I remind my inner child that we're not in danger. It's just discomfort, and no one ever died from discomfort. Because really, what's this all about? Rewiring the nervous system to associate visibility with safety. And that's something I help my clients do every day. Not through pushing, not through hustle, but by learning to trust that their truth is enough. And it really is. One of my old clients, let's call him Daniel, sat through the same weekly safety meeting for months. Brilliant mind, quiet presence. He'd been sitting on a solution to a reoccurring issue that had been costing the company thousands of dollars every single month. Every time the topic came up, he'd think, should I say something? But then second guessing would kick in. What if they think it's dumb? What if I sound arrogant? What if I get it wrong in front of everyone? So he kept quiet again and again. Not because he didn't care, but because somewhere along the line, maybe a classroom, maybe a living room, he learned that speaking up was risky, that visibility came with consequence. Fast forward a few weeks into our coaching, we weren't just talking about confidence. We were teaching his nervous system that discomfort isn't danger, that self-expression isn't rebellion, that being seen isn't the same as being judged. And then it happened. In a Monday meeting, same boardroom, same faces. He finally shared it, his idea, his solution, the one he'd been sitting on for months. The room went silent. And then it erupted with conversation. That quarter, the company's profits doubled. Not because he had a great idea, but because he finally let himself be heard. That's what authenticity does when it's embodied. Not just better engagement or personal brand growth, but actual tangible impact. Because when you stop filtering yourself to make others comfortable, you start unlocking the kind of value that changes everything, even if it is simply a different perspective. So now I want to turn it to you. Where in your life are you still performing? What masks are you wearing? Maybe out of habit, maybe out of protection. What would it look like to just be 1% more real today? Seriously, not 100, not all in, just moving the needle 1% a day. Maybe that means saying how you really feel in that conversation. Maybe that means posting without editing the caption to death. Maybe that means choosing what you want, not what you believe looks good to others. Because that's how this journey begins. Small steps, slight shifts. And before you know it, you realize you're not afraid of being seen anymore. Authenticity isn't about being loud. It's not about oversharing or being raw simply for the sake of it. It's about congruence, alignment. It's about no longer abandoning yourself to win the approval of others. And listen, I'm still walking this road with you. Every day I still catch myself when I slip into old patterns and old performances. But now I catch them faster and I return to me, to myself, much, much quicker. And that's the work. I don't believe it'll ever fully go away. We just learn how to catch ourselves in the act a lot quicker. This isn't about confidence. It's about safety inside of yourself, expression, building a relationship with yourself that's so strong, you don't need to shrink yourself for anyone anymore. As always, thank you for joining me for this episode of the Wolverine Lifestyle Podcast. If it resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs this reminder today. This reminder that they're worthy of being seen and they're not alone in this fear. And if you're ready to take a step further into your own self-exploration journey, grab my free ebook, 30 Days to Know Yourself. The link will be in the show notes along with all of the other links to the rest of my socials and resources. Until next time, remember, the world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more real.